All right, friends. So welcome. This is our first video in which I am teaching you something. Now, this is something that we went over before the closure, so I don't expect this to be an entirely new skill. But just in case you need the extra practice, you can watch this video to make sure you know what to do when you master the skills on IXL today. Okay? So, today, the skill I'm going to be teaching is how to add and subtract fractions with like denominators, okay? So when I say like denominators, it means that the denominator is going to be the same for both of the fractions that you're either adding or subtracting. So you don't have to do any converting, you just have to make sure that the denominators are the same, okay? Remember, a fraction is a quantity represented as a over x, or one number being divided by another. So if that sounds confusing, let's just quickly review how fractions work, okay? So as you can see in this diagram, this is, let's pretend it's a pie. And this pie has been broken into 8 equally sized pieces. Now the pink pieces are the ones that are left. So what fraction of the pie is left? 3/8 of the pie is left. The numerator, the number on top, represents the pieces that still remain. The denominator represents the number of pieces necessary to make a whole. Let's remember that with fractions, all the pieces must be the same size, okay? So this is 3 out of 8 equally sized pieces of the pie that are left. Looking over here, let's imagine we have a chocolate bar that was broken into 5 equally sized pieces. The pink one represents the fraction of the chocolate bar that remains. So someone came up and gobbled up 4 out of those 5 equally sized pieces. So 1/5 of the chocolate bar is left. Now that we've reviewed sort of what a denominator is and what it means for a fraction, we're going to go ahead and practice the first problem. Example 1. Imagine you are asked to add 2/9 to 5/9. I've drawn on the side here how 2/9 would look, right? This is 9 equally sized pieces, but only 2 are shaded. So 2 out of 9 pieces are present. And now you're going to come along and you're going to add 5 more equally sized pieces. So this is almost like, imagine you and your friend bought the exact same chocolate bar and you went home and you each went your separate ways. And one of you, let's say you ate 7 of those pieces, so you had 2/9 of your chocolate bar left. Your other friend only ate 4 of the pieces of their bar, so your friend had 5/9 of their chocolate bar left. Now you guys come back together and you want to put your pieces together and see how much you have. Well, 2 plus 5 is 7. So you have 7/9 of a chocolate bar collectively between the two of you. Okay? So what do you have to do? It's really simple. Do not add the denominators, because that's going to change up your answer and make it wrong. If you add the denominators, now you're saying the chocolate bar is broken into 18 pieces, because 9 plus 9 is 18. That's not the size of the chocolate bar. So you only add your numerators. Those are the pieces that you're adding up. The denominator only represents what you need to make a whole. So it's not actually a number that is present in the equation. That might be confusing if you're like, Miss Yako, I have no idea what you just said. All I want you to focus on is that you only add or subtract the numerator. Don't play with your denominator. Leave the denominator as is when you're adding or subtracting, okay? All right. Let's do another example together. This time it's subtraction. So imagine that someone had a big old cookie sheet of brownies, and they decided to cut their brownie bar into 10 equally sized pieces. So then someone came and ate one, so they originally had 9/10 of the brownie bar, okay? But then Miss Yako came along and decided to eat 3/10 of that brownie bar. The question is, how much is left after that? The answer is 6/10. So again, notice the denominator doesn't change. What does change, what you're really working with, are your numerators. So you start with 9/10 of the brownie. Someone ate 3/10. and you're left with 6/10 because 9 minus 3 is 6. Okay? All right. Now for this last example, I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to ask you to pause your video and get the answer on your own. Once you have gotten the answer, play to see if it's correct. Okay? Example 3. Miss Yako had 5/6 of a cake in her fridge this morning. At the end of the day, 2/6 of it was left. How much of the cake did Miss Yako eat? So study the problem for a second, and then I want you to hit pause so you can figure out the answer. Okay? Go ahead and hit pause, and don't hit play until you have an answer ready. Okay, you've probably hit play by now. Here is the answer, and this is the work I did. I did 5/6 minus 2/6 equals 3/6. And in case you're a little confused, you can draw some pictures. Here's the original amount that I had in the morning, the size of what I ate. So as you can see, that same amount was taken off here, and what's left is these 3 pieces, right? 3/6. Okay? All right, friends. Go ahead and give yourself a little pat on the back if you got that correct. If you didn't get it correct, that's okay. Still give yourself a pat on the back for trying, and I want you to play the video again so you can sort of pause where you need to make sure you understand it. Once you've got this down and you think you're ready to go, the 2 skills associated with this today are going to be L3 and L4 on IXL Math. Now, starting today and going forward, you must master these skills. This is no longer, oh, just do 20 minutes, because at this point, I've given you everything you need to master it. So I'm expecting you to do whatever you need to get 100% of that skill done by the end of the day. So that's L3 and L4. Both of them need to be done, okay? I'm here all day if you have any questions, so feel free to write me. Sending you lots of love, and good job on your math lesson, friends. Bye-bye.